Get it in, get it in. That is right. Get in. Big up, Norm. Big up to Lee WizKid. Big up to Red Armchair Supporter. Big up to anyone that is joining us live and direct after a very, 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 very much needed win in Italy. This is certainly going to propel us into a place that we can feel a little bit more reassured that we will be moving on in one way or another, whether it's top eight or if it's at least to the next round. We'll still figure that out soon enough, or still have an answer to that soon enough. But it does mean that we are that much closer to actually, you know, being able to breathe a little easier for our efforts there. But oh my goodness, definitely was a very big breath of fresh air. Shout out to Arnie Slot for finally, I guess he finally watched one of our episodes, or maybe he got one of our text messages on the low. I don't know. And he went with the 4-4-2 diamond, and it looked like it gave our team a little bit of a lift. It looked like it gave our team a little bit of a much needed semblance of urgency, and allow for us to be able to fight off a very, very talented Inter team on their home grounds. And yes, we got to see some really, really encouraging performances by some players that have been a little bit in the dumps. But we got Lee with us. I don't know what. I don't think we're going to have JK with us. He's got a busy work day tomorrow. So
Well, I can't hear you like brilliantly. I can hear you, but it's fairly low. Just to
okay.
let you know.
Oh, you know why it's low? Because I changed my microphone. Hold on one second. It should be better now.
That's much
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah. It was because we were watching the game together, and when we were watching it, JK said that JK put us on his Apple TV or something like that, and I was loud. I was overly booming, loud and booming on his speakers like LL Cool J style. But all right. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear. Like I said earlier, I'm glad to hear that Arnie Slot is hearing me and hearing you as well out there. 442 Diamond. What happens? We get the win. What? What? Who knows? Boom. Who knows, you know? All these extra football manager sessions I'm putting in lately. Maybe it's finally paying off. Trying to get it in there. Um, but yeah, we got a win. We got a much. How are you feeling, Lee? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I really enjoyed the game. I've seen more exciting games, but I really enjoyed it because the two words I used yesterday when you asked last night what you want tomorrow, I said compact, control, performance, and I thought we were quite compact and like limited them. You know, they can be dangerous on their own pitch, but we limited them. They hardly did anything, mate. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
See, we've done that with other teams and gone on to lose lately, where we've been the better side, and then we go behind and fold after
Mhm.
1-0, but it didn't happen here. We got in front, well, belatedly, like, which made it even sweeter. I said before, you know, a 1-0 win away from home is often the sweetest type of win. Yeah, it's only one goal as a spectacle, but it's often the sweetest type of away win, a 1-0. And to get it late like that, I thought we played well. I enjoyed watching us tonight. I wasn't panicking watching us or thinking, oh,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I enjoyed watching us for the first time in a few weeks tonight.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's true. That's
that's
big,
just
big, big
massive
point.
tonic, massive tonic. Just what the doctor ordered for everybody, and
Mhm.
especially for Arnie. I was pleased for Arnie tonight because his plan came off, and you
Okay.
know,
All right. All right.
a little bit of a
That's
boost for
good.
the man.
I get what you're saying. But I also you sound similar to what Jamie was saying. Actually, he was very. He was. Very happy for the win, of course, but he was also ecstatic for the coach who has been maligned with a lot of different things lately. And I give you that. It was good to see him get a win, but it was more so it was good for us to get a win. I mean, I was more interested in what we had to handle, and that is a lot of adversity brought upon ourselves. Some brought upon ourselves, others brought upon by outside forces, but we prevailed. Uh, want bring it big up to R6, big up. So how good really are Leeds United? I do think that Leeds United at home are a different team than Leeds United on the road, but also Leeds United is always going to be a difficult place to play in. So that's something that's at least my opinion on Leeds. Big up to Jimmy, big up to Lee Wizkid, big up to Highlore. Um, let's see, let's see. It does make you wonder if you can just get some luck to go our way, if we can just get some we can start to get a little bit of momentum, a little bit you know, a little bit of cohesion amongst our players. Who knows? Moving the ball quickly has always been the key. I agree with that, Dara. Big up Dara, by the way. There were times where, like sometimes we did see our team regress back to somewhat slow, methodical movements, and that was when Inter was able to inch its way back into getting control of the game. But for the most part, when we kept the ball quick and was quick movement, no sitting on the ball, no allowing for our opposition to regain their shape, we actually prevailed in a lot of different ways. So I was very happy to see that happen tonight. But let's see. I'm going to put up something here. Um, 1-0. How do you feel about that? Is that the headline? Clean sheet? Or is the headline 3-0? Or is the headline Liverpool wins historic third win at San Siro?
Yeah, there's a few headlines here. One of them being that we got the win, another one that we got a clean sheet at the same time. As I said before, we got clean sheets against Villa and against West Ham, but they've been few and far between. So to see us shut a team out, half decent size, they're not a bad side, they're not great, but they're okay. It's not a place you want to go. Do you know what I mean? It's not a place you want to go. It never has been for any size anywhere. But we coped with them, we limited them, and that was pleasing that we had that control and we remained compact and tight, like in the midfield at times, you know what I mean, to stop them creating anything of any real note, to give us all palpitations. I was pleased with that part of the game tonight, that we seemed to keep them off us. Well, keep them off us. They did have some sustained pressure, but it never led to anything serious for me. Certainly didn't lead to a goal.
Do you believe that we were lucky to get this win? Do you believe that we were rightful to get this win? What's your feelings on that?
I think we deserved it. I think we're the better side in the first half by a country mile. Then the VAR ruled out the Ibu header, and that gave them a boost, which you would imagine, because it took about 7 minutes. So for 7 minutes, they thought they might well be behind, and when they weren't, it gave them a boost, and they were on top there until half time. But that was only the end of the half. Then second half, it was back and forth. I thought we were decent in possession without creating anything too much. But we did enough. We did enough to win the game, and that's all you can ask. That's all you can ask. We did enough to win the game.
Verts is quality, definitely. It was. How about this? How about what would you say about? We're going to do ratings too, but what would you say about seeing McAllister play the 10? I think that's like the first time he's played the 10 for us.
Mm. It looked like him and Curtis were like swapping around a bit. Curtis was getting quite far forward. And Curtis was good in the first half. He had a few nice moments, like nifty footwork and that, to try and get something going. And that shot he had was our best chance. His shot on target, across the keeper. Once he got in the box, he showed nice footwork to get into the position. And he did a couple of nice things in the game that will give him, give his chances of starting more games a boost. So I was pleased with tonight. Yeah, really pleased.
Yeah, I thought Mac was much better tonight. I thought that it was what happened? Dara, I'm sorry to hear that about your friend. Only 57 years old too. That's unfortunate. Condolences, my condolences. I think everyone's condolences. I would be very bold, but I think appropriately put to say. Definitely my condolences for your loss.
Same here, yeah.
Well, it was the hopefully a win like this can maybe pep your spirits a little bit, Dara, and also for those out there, something that we don't see too often as of late, which is wins, W's. Chris Angel is saying CJ for him did everything well. Mac did okay. He thinks everyone did well. We do need some consistency and fine tuning. Hopefully, same formation and personnel for the weekend. Couldn't agree with that more. I couldn't agree with that more, because the one thing that this coach has been notorious for doing is seeing something work and then reverting back to the things that weren't. And that's one of the most frustrating things about this coach, is that we saw this formation. It was slightly different, a little bit different. It went a 4-4-2, but it wasn't a 4-4-2 diamond in Frankfurt. But we played with a 4-4-2 in Frankfurt, and it worked. We went to the very next game, and we abandoned it. We go into this game of a 4-4-2 diamond, which I'm ecstatic over. We get to see Maka. A lot of us have always said that we wanted to see Maka in a more advanced role, meaning like a 10 role. Do I expect Maka to do the things that you see Dom do? Running around the pitch and being ever so intense and energetic? No. But what I do think is that you're going to get the ability to have a clinical passer, to be someone that's got football IQ, to know about the pacing and spacing of where he needs to be. And I think that obviously Mac has played the 10 for Brighton before. But again, it is what it is when it comes to it. I know Hylor is calling it something different, but the commentators on our side of the pitch were referencing it as a 4-4-2 diamond. And I'd like to see more of it, to be honest with you. I'd like to see us do more of it. But it's been one of this is definitely something to maybe pep the spirits a little bit. I mean, after one of the most draining and chaotic and emotionally charged weeks of not only our watching these Reds, but possibly or being associated or being part of the Reds family, but certainly for Arnie Slot's Reds, or at least his reign over the Liverpool hierarchy. And somehow, some way, we walk into the San Siro and go out with a win. I don't want to call this a classic because I don't think it was. This wasn't classic Liverpool football when it comes to the 4-4-2. This is not free flowing. It wasn't champagne chasing chaos. It looked like a little bit of survival at times. It looked like certainly discipline at others. But I think that this was a wounded team that showed pride today, and they went out there and gave it their all. No bonehead mistakes. No silly passes that were poor passes that lead to goals or lead to different things that would have basically harmed us in getting this win. 4 days after Mohamed Salah basically, pulled the pin or put a pin in our Liverpool balloon somewhat, with that interview that shook the club at its core. 4 days after questions over Slot's authority, Slot's future, Slot's squad harmony, Liverpool delivered a mature, disciplined European away performance and walked away with 3 points. Thank you to Domis Bosalai. Cold-blooded penalty. I mean, that was a well-taken penalty. Don't you agree?
Mm-hmm. That's all I wanted from him. Nice, well struck beyond the keeper's reach. No hassle. It's exactly what he did. He didn't flinch, did he? Domis knew what he was going to do, did it. And we're all very happy he did.
Yeah. I thought Maka was going to take the penalty kick, but I don't mind. The reason why
what flashed into my mind? I think Sommer might have used to play with Szoboszlai at Dortmund. I'm sure Sommer was at Dortmund for a while. And it might have been when Sommer was there, and I thought maybe he's had pens against him in training. I might be wrong. He might not have played for Dortmund, Sommer. But he's been in Germany,
I don't know if he's played for Dortmund. I'll check for you. I will check for you. So pause. It's just not giving me my thing. I'm going to look it up and see if I can find it for you. But a VAR decision, I know those Inter fans are going to hate that decision. Look, let's be honest. That was a very fortunate call, but it was a foul. It was a foul. Let's not act like he didn't get pulled. Now, I'll admit he maybe threw a little bit of the dramatics into enhance the call. I agree with that. But at the same time, unfortunately, in this league, or in this era of football, you have to be dramatic like that. One, and two, let's not kid ourselves. Inter were getting those same exact calls, those same, are you kidding me? That's soft, or maybe that's not a foul type calls the entire game. The referee was at times pretty atrocious with some of the ways that he was going with it. I agree with what Norm is saying too. He's saying, do you agree though, 12th, that yes, the pull, not enough to go down, but enough to stop Verts regaining the ball? Absolutely. And I think that the reason why he went to ground, or why he went to ground the way he did, is because if he had stayed on his feet, that's not getting called. That's not getting called if he stays on his feet. And that's how sad it is. It was a foul. He could have possibly regained the ball in the box.
Yeah, it was.
But it was a blatant shirt pull to hold him back from being able to recover the ball. that's a foul.
When you
Period.
saw it slowed down, like he had hold of his shirt for a bit, and then like he tugs him backwards. Like how hard the
Yeah.
tug was doesn't really matter, but you could see it, and it took him off balance. There, it's like he went like that, didn't he? Sort of staggered, and then like when he went to like go forward again, he was off balance, so he just went down, and that was enough. And he was perfectly entitled to do it. And they can't have any complaints, mate. He has hold of his shirt for long enough. I know, like, it looks longer when it's slowed down, but he had hold of his shirt for well long enough, and he gave the tug that put him off balance, which the referee saw, and that was it. The game was over.
Right.
And it was a nice way to win it. Like I said, I like winning 1-0, but especially in Italy against a bunch of whinging, cheating bastards. That's brilliant. Did you see Martinez at the end having a go at the ref, and then like their coach come over and got booked or something, or one of their backroom fellas, and it was seeing Bastoni, like it seen his face on the final whistle, like he had to like come on, as you would if you'd done that.
Yeah. By the way, they didn't play together. By the way, Sommer and did not play with Dom.
No, I'm certain he was in Germany anyway. Sommer might have
I
been Bayern.
mean,
I think he was at Bayern actually.
he
Although we
was at
might not
Bayern Munich.
loads.
He was at Bayern Munich. He was at also Borussia Mönchengladbach. He was at Basel. He was at Grasshopper. That's a team in Zurich.
Well, at the very least, he might have faced Szoboszlai penalties before in Germany, mightn't he, playing for either Munich or Mönchengladbach?
Yeah, because you said Dortmund. I knew he didn't play. I don't think he played for Dortmund.
Yeah,
he played for RB Leipzig. He played for RB Salzburg, but he never played for.
Who was Dom at Leipzig or Salzburg? Was Dom at before Dortmund?
He's at both those teams.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was a really confident, cracking penalty, like just what you want in a penalty.
Yeah, yeah. I knew he was gonna. I knew Damis Szoboszlai shoots to the exact same spot in every penalty, but he has such good precision that he knows that he can get the ball to a place where the goalkeeper can't, and with such pace that he can get the ball to. Like I was calling it before when I saw Dom step up to take the penalty. I'm like, all right, he's going to shoot to his left, top left corner, and that's it. He's going to try hit side netting or try putting the top in. One of the two. It's going to be it would have to take an exceptional shot for or shot blocking effort for the goalkeeper. And when you saw the goalkeeper step up, he kept obviously the shot went to his right. I'm saying to Dom's left, but to the goalkeeper's right. And you can see it. The goalkeeper kept hinting like he's going to like get ready to dive, like he's going to dive to the left. I'm like, he knows where the ball is going. He keeps like, jumping back and forth between like, oh, I'm going to go to the left. I'm going to go left. I'm going to go left. And then as soon as Dom stepped up to kick it, he went right because he knew he was going to his right. So, it is a cruel summer for some, or it's been a cruel summer for others. It's been a cruel winter for us currently, or cruel fall, I would say, for us. But did Slot just win the biggest? Is this possibly the biggest win for him so far in his Liverpool reign? His Liverpool tenure so far?
No, it's one of them though, and it's the biggest win in a long time. It's the biggest win since last season.
Mm-hmm.
It's that big, yeah. It's his biggest win this season for sure. And there probably hasn't been a bigger one since last February or March or something.
Well, then I guess if it's not his biggest win, if you're not going to deem it as his biggest win, could you maybe go as far as to say it's his most important win?
Yeah, right this moment in time, it is. It's vitally important for the man to keep his job. And he just needs to make this a turning point now. We need to put 2 wins in a row together because we haven't done it in the longest time. And it's starting to become, very annoying to people, like, because we are the champions and we did spend quite a few bob in the summer. So we need to put 2 wins together. We need to beat Brighton however we can. You know, any type of win will do. But we need to get wins
We
on the
can't.
spin
Yeah,
again.
we
Remember
can't
what
lose the
it's like to
momentum.
win games on the spin rather than winning one
Yeah.
and then not winning the next, you know. And enough of these players played last season, so they'll still be in the habit of doing that, hopefully, like once they regain their confidence, shall we say, winning games in a row. And then we'll see what it brings us. But yeah, it'll be a tough test, Brighton, this next game. Like, the decent side, they've got some good players. But it's up to Arnie to do what he did tonight and come up with a plan that gets us the win.
Okay. I think this is arguably his most important win of his Liverpool tenure. Just being honest, and after the Salah, explosive rant that he went on, and after the claims he lost his dressing room, after the leaks, after the noise, the chaos, this team showed up and said they're united. This team, I've always said I love seeing Ali in front of the mic because he ends up always being a calming force, very calming energy behind him when he speaks and talks about the team and about the unity that is a part of this team. Because we came out committed, we came out organized, we came out as a team. That's the most important thing, because a team fracture does not produce this kind of performance, and we saw that. Do you think tonight proved Slot still has the dressing room?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. They carried his plan out, like, and it worked. So, in the grander scheme of things, like, going forward, it remains to be seen. But if this can be the turning point, then yeah, I think he's still got the the support of the players. Like, it looked like it tonight. Put in a good effort tonight, like, in every way imaginable. Really, like, the effort was top class. The concentration was good tonight. The concentration from the players was good tonight. And obviously, this is something he'll have been banging on about, like, no doubt, in his team talks, like, concentration, no lapses, don't be giving goals away.
Yeah.
Make teams earn it when they beat you, make them earn it.
Yeah. Let's see, everywhere is think we Hyler says he thinks we ended up buying Isak's evil twin brother. Isak. Okay, it's a whole different story. Yeah, it does shift some pressure off of Slot with this win, but then again, he still has a bit of heat coming from the fact that this weekend Brighton, who is a team that does score goals, is going to want to, really put the sword towards us and really make a difference in it. I'm going to ask the chat this question, and I don't know how does that say? Snappy golf, Snapey golf. I'll just call you the 215. How about that? I call you the 215. Since that's the area code for Philadelphia. I was going to say, those in the chat can answer this, but do you believe that Liverpool should have been do you think that Liverpool's penalty should have been awarded? Do you think Liverpool's penalty should have been awarded? It's a tough call, but I think this should have been awarded. What do you think, Lee? Do you think this should have been? I think that we should have gotten it. I think there's going to be people that are going to say we were lucky that it was soft, it was this, it wasn't a pen. I'm sure a lot of our rivals are going to scream that out left and right on a lot of the neutral or reportedly neutral shows out there on the interwebs.
I hope they do. I hope they do. I hope it causes the maximum annoyance and they have to sound off about it, because that's music to my ears. Instead of them laughing at us like for getting beat, they'll now be annoyed that we won away to Inter. Where half of these, I bet you half of these clubs that like the ones who be moaning, they've never won at the San Siro. Probably half of them.
Okay. Yeah, there was. I'm looking at what people are saying. Red Armchair supporter saying yes, he thinks it was. Yeah, he's a little bit biased. He says, "I get that, but it's all good." Norm says yes. In the context of what is given these days, it can't be okay that we get stuff against us that's soft. Then when we get similar, oh, it's a big deal. I agree with that completely, Norm. I do agree with that completely. It's what I've referenced in that, being that we could all say that Galatasaray penalty on Dom was a relatively soft penalty.
No, that was soft as shit, that one.
Okay.
Ours was much better than that. Like, the guy actually has Alderweireld's shirt for quite a while before he gave a tug on it. The Dom one, it was just like it must have been the tips of his fingers brushed him. The tips of Dom's fingers brushed him, and he was down, wasn't he? Like he'd been shot.
Mm-hmm. I think that European refereeing is different. We'll call it that. I think European refereeing is different. We've been harshly done, like I said before. The Galatasaray is what comes to mind. And tonight, Inter felt the sting bite them instead of the sting biting us. Bastoni and Vert's tangle it might have been a soft tug for some, but the VAR check, penalty given, Dom converts. Maybe is it harsh? Yeah, maybe it is. But is it inconsistent? I don't know. I don't know about that one. Do I care? Not even remotely. At this time and period right now, I do not care at all. Because it is a win, and they'll take it whichever way we can. How about the other one though? Earlier in the game, another set piece controversy for Liverpool, but this time ruled against us, and that was Konate's header. Inter were in a panic. VR intervened, and the explanation. This is the key line. It said, A goal can be awarded if the ball is played against your hand or arm by a teammate, unless it's deliberate. If it's a deliberate handball, it can't be awarded. Van Dijk heads the ball into Ekitike's arm from point blank range. It's impossible to avoid that, by the way. But because the ball's direction changed and created a goal scoring opportunity, I guess UEFA decided that it's got to be a disallowed action. It's a little bit annoying, being that we got the win. I'm not really like super vexed over it. You can say maybe by the UEFA rule book that's expected to see that happen. But Lee, was it? And I asked the chat this too. Was Liverpool unlucky, or was it simply European, UEFA VAR doing what UEFA VAR does, and that is like, give a ruling that's going to be subjective at best.
I felt it was quite harsh, but I knew from the moment it went in that we weren't getting it. They looked at it for an awfully long time. I mean, there's no way on earth that, like, from what I saw, Virgil had it hit the guy on the back, because the other guy, their defender, had his back to Ekitike, and he had his arms up, which I had Ekitike, and then he come down, and it hit him in the back, come back, and it's Ekitike on the arm, didn't it? So it was their player playing it onto him. Virgil was heading it towards goal, like, so I thought it was harsh, but I could, you know, I knew it wouldn't stand, and it didn't, and I can see why they ruled it out. Like, you know, they're always dying to do this these days, aren't they? Like, the moment he went over and looked at it, like, the moment he was called over, and well, actually, the moment it went in, and you get ruled out, but then when he was called over, you were like, yeah, we're not having this. But it didn't matter in the end. It's quite nice, actually, that something like that, you know, can happen and we still get the win. Slender win, even with that happening to us.
Yeah, agreed. Slender win, but hey, you didn't call us the Slender Man. That was a interesting movie. But
Seen that, yeah. It's mad, that, isn't it?
yeah. I think it's set place in England too. I think I want to say. I think that was the placing of it, but still, do you think, how did you grade the Isak Ekitike duo? How do you think it worked without Salah being involved in it? What was your take on it? Did the Isak Ekitike duo work without Salah?
Well, we play
without Cody as well. Without Salah and Cody.
Yeah, I was
being a part of
pleased
it.
with the performance because of how compact we were, and that was part of it. Isak didn't really get into it as much as Ekitike did. Ekitike had a better game, but he's fitter than Isak is. Isak's still trying to get up to his peak fitness, isn't he? So I'll let him off there. But he did okay, Isak, before he came off. He was all right, and I was pleased with it. I wouldn't mind, you know, if we did that again, as long as it meant we won again. Maybe bring Wirtz in, like, as one of the midfielders this time, but don't know. I quite liked it. Yeah,
I liked it. The
mm.
Wicker Man. Yeah, the Wicker Man was another one. That one. Maybe I'm thinking. Maybe I'm mixing it up. Maybe the Wicker Man was the one that was in England.
Yeah, the Wicker Man. Well, it's Scotland. It's a Scottish island. Yeah,
okay, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Mm.
Salah and Gakpo is for sure against Brighton, so Slot has to widen his horizon for that game. Noram thought the referee was terrible. Sheba is saying Ekitike worked, Isak not so much. I don't know what it is about Isak. He's certainly Isak is going to be Isak is the one that I was like really interested in seeing perform a little bit better, but I'd like to see a relationship grow between those two, you know. And one thing that was missing, even though Maka did do, I think, a decent job today, I am very interested to see the duo plus Verts. I want to see that be the triangle. You know, I want to see that be the triangle of offense for us in the front line, being Verts, being Ekitike, and Isak. But Slot finally listened to myself and some of you out there that have been asking for this 4-4-2 diamond. And the 4-4-2 diamond was on finally. And while it wasn't beautiful, it was functional. Ekitike dropped into pockets. Isak stretched the back line. Liverpool had structure. Ekitike impressed early. Isak grew into the second half, of course, but neither was dominant, really, I would say. And Slot's safety first approach limited. I think that limited the partnership. There was always times you saw us press and be relentless, and other times you saw us kind of like ease off and allow for the pressure to kind of like have a subtle build as opposed to an instant build onto our opposition today. Do you think that that's a viable front two? Do you think that is Isak and Ekitike a viable partnership long term? Basically, is what I'm asking. Or was it only because of injuries or Salah's absence and Cody's absence? You know, is that the only reason why we went 4-4-2? Or do you think that this is something that we should go forward?
Well, what I would say about it is I don't mind seeing it again with that diamond, but maybe with Verts, like obviously at the head of it from the start this time. And then he's have Szoboszlai, McAllister, and he's have Gravenberch at the base of it. So yeah, I mean, why we're forced into doing it, sort of, because we didn't have anyone available tonight, like to do it really differently. Then yeah, you know, if it works, I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I'd take another performance such as tonight against Brighton and another 1-0 win. Hopefully not with a late penalty, but like another 1-0 win and a similar performance do me fine. With Brighton, like, you know, not creating any clear-cut chances, because Inter didn't. There was only that header from Martinez, and he was never going to beat Alisson from there.
Okay. That was a good shot, I thought. That was a good save. I thought it was an excellent save, to be honest with you.
Good save, but he's never going to beat Alisson from there as hard as he tried, and that was their best effort.
Okay. Maybe some people think different. I slightly do, but again, you know, we all see the game, different angles, maybe. Because I just thought that was an excellent save. Laturo put his head to that, and he really got he got some pace behind it, but it was a quick reaction from Ali to save it, and I thought it was a fantastic save. But I think the lack of Maka being really, really to the level that we wanted to see him at is where, or maybe like the chemistry between a 10 and his two strikers is a little lacking. You could see at times it was lacking a little bit. But let's just for a moment forget about the strikers for a second. This match I think this match was won in the midfield, to be honest with you. Maybe you agree with me on that. And let's see how this rebuilt midfield performed in your opinions. Slots diamond of choice was Grav, Curtis Jones, Dominic Szoboszlai, and surprisingly so, but fortunately so, listening to us finally. Big up Dustin, by the way, and big up to Edward. Finally so, he put Maka in the 10, which was a shout, but in a diamond, that's pretty much probably the only place you would want to arguably put him in. But he could play on that left side, I guess. You could put him there. But this was the most stable Liverpool have looked, I think, all season in the midfield. Jones, I thought, was outstanding today. He had some driving runs. He had progressive passing. I thought Grav was actually really good too today. He's had a little dip in his performances lately. Or the level of performances, but for today was on point. Was on point. I gotta use I only have a few sound bites, so I gotta use them where I can. And then Dominic Szoboszlai, the boss. I know sometimes I get on those that were very harsh on Dominic Szoboszlai last year, primarily because it's probably because no one really ever gets to do their walk of shame, you know, like in Game of Thrones, you know, where she has to, where the queen has to walk down the streets and have someone behind you saying shame on those that didn't recognize the work that Dominic Szoboszlai puts in and recognize the talent that he is. Some people wanted to drive him to the airport. Look, I think that the only time you want to drive him to the airport is if he's going to a game like this in Italy or something like that, because this guy is a true red. I think he inhibits a lot of what we all want a Liverpool Red to have in him, and that is energy, the ability to track players, press. He was all over, and then to calmly and coolly put an absolute rocket into the back of the net. Shout out to Dominic Szoboszlai. I thought he was fantastic. And McAllister kept Liverpool glued together between the lines. I'll admit that too. Liverpool needed solidity, and they got it today. They got it. I think they absolutely got it today. Is the 4-4-2 diamond Liverpool's best system going forward?
I hope it could be, like, you know, I hope that this is a sign of things to come, that this could be the formation and that we've cracked the code. It'll mean Mo and Cozy won't get much of a look in, but that's the way it is, isn't it? Like, it would be good if going forward we could have that. Gravenberch, McAllister left, Szoboszlai right, Vert at the top of it, and then Isak and Ekitike up front. It solves the problem as well as of having to play one or the other of these two big money strikers. So yeah, I'll be pleased. I'm just pleased that we did something different tonight. You know what I mean? I was pleased when I saw how we set up. Like once we kicked off and that, I thought, yeah, this looks good. As I said, I was pleased that we just didn't concede any real big chances, and we didn't. And that's what you want. That's what we needed away from home in Europe. And we've just got to go back to back now with wins. As I said, we've got to remember what it's like to win games in a row. It's not going to be easy against Brighton, but if we can win away at Inter, why can't we beat Brighton at Anfield?
Right. Spot on with that. Spot on. Well, who do you think benefits the most from this shape, this new shape of this diamond? Do you think that it is something that we go forward with? Who do you think benefits the most? I think that the person that showed up the best in this diamond was Curtis Jones. I thought Curtis Jones had like an exceptional game.
He did himself no harm at all with his performance, none at all. I was pleased for him. Obviously, he's a local lad, and he's the only one we've got left now. So yeah, I was pleased with Curtis. I've always been a fan of this. He's got a lot of talent. He just needs to, apply himself properly, and get into the right habits to always be, influential, on the game. And if he can't get the ball, he's got to, learn good discipline, without the ball. And he has improved, and he is a good player. I think he proved tonight what a good player he can be for us. The booking that he got was absurd. The way Mkhitaryan went down with that, Curtis, he was running onto the ball. Running onto the ball was put on for him. He gets there first with his tackle, to get it, and then Curtis's leg that he got the ball with went through Mkhitaryan's leg, and he lifted his leg up a bit, and Curtis's shins touched the inside of Mkhitaryan's legs, which doesn't hurt at all. But he made such a meal of it, he got him booked, which really irritated me. But anyway, we got out of there without a red card. So many players got booked, but that one irritated me. Mkhitaryan.
Well, let's do this then. Let's do a rapid fire player rating. Ali, I gave Ali a 7. I thought he was calm, secure. I'll give him an 8 actually. Since I wasn't gonna give him a 7, but now I'll bump it to an 8 because he got the clean sheet too. Big save versus Martinez. He didn't have that much to really have to handle, but I thought he kept everything good in the back line. So I'm only giving him an extra point because it was a clean sheet. If otherwise, I would have given him a 7. Everyone's getting Norm a 7, Lee a 7, Edward an 8. What you gonna give him? Lee, what would you give him? Ali,
I'll give him a 7 because he wasn't severely tested. Everything he had to do, he did well, and he made us look nice and safe tonight, because he is such a great goalie. But I'd say 7 because he wasn't tested unduly, really. So I'd say 7.
Gomez and right back. I thought defensively he was solid. I thought that he was okay going forward. There's a couple of times there's a couple of times that I saw diagonals being kicked out to Gomez, and I saw and like from VVD to Gomez, and I was just like, and Gomez was trapping the ball nicely too, by the way. So I like that. I thought it creates width. It makes me think about how much more of a threat we will be possibly when you have a Frimpong maybe on that as that right back pushing that envelope on that front side. So I was happy to see that. He's a little limited in his attack today, but it's okay. I gave Gomez a 7. I wanted to give him a 6, but I'm going to give him a 7. I'm giving everyone I'm giving our defensive everyone in the D an extra point simply because they got the clean sheet. So 6 for Joe from Lee Wizkid, 6.5 for Joe from Norm. What was your rating for Joe? Lee, what was your rating?
I give Joe a 7.
Okay.
He was solid defensively. Didn't offer that much going forward, but we didn't need it, because we were, doing it a bit differently today, and he did what he needed to do well. Yeah, 7.
Okay. You guys are welcome to play along at home. I see Lee Wizkids and Norm's answers in the chat. If you do put a score in, I'll put in your score to be included in these ratings. All right. Next to Gomez. This guy, strong second half. Unlucky with the disallowed goal, by the way. I thought that Ibus played smart today. No stupid, rash tackles or anything. You know what I mean? Like played controlled. Wasn't like pushing and grabbing too much or anything like that. Was under a lot of strenuous play put upon him. But I'll give Ibu a 7 today. I would have given him a 6, but I'm giving him a 7 simply because he got the clean sheet. What are you thinking? There's only you and me here, Lee. So
yeah, I give Ali a 7 and Joe a 7. I'll give Ibu a 6.5. I'll just take that extra half point because I'm still sore about the Leeds debacle.
Okay.
I'm docking him half a point for that.
This guy
still,
coming in. I know. This guy giving deductions from previous games. All right. 6 from Lee Wizkid, a 6.5 from Norm for Ibu. Okay. Let's see. Van Dyke, our captain, the much maligned captain, might I say, too. Big up to Art. How you doing? So I would like to see slot play Ekatike and Isak up top and Verts in behind and the diamond. Well, Art, if that's your view, you've tuned into the right place because that's something that we've been pushing and trying to campaign for quite some time now. And welcome, by the way, to Art. 7 for Virgil from Lee Wizkid and 8 from Retro LFC, who is Norm. I gave Virgil a 7 today. I thought he read the danger well. He had one little lapse versus Martinez that gave him the opportunity to get that header. But it helps. It pays when you have Ali and net. I think that's what VVD does sometimes as well. He puts a lot of trust in his teammates to hold him up. You know what I mean? And we got that today. I gave him a 7. What would you give Virgil?
7.5.
7.5? Okay.
Yeah. Well, look, when we have a good performance that features a clean sheet and we look defensively solid, it's always built around him. Him and Allison, And yeah, I thought he was good tonight. He led the side well, and we limited them. And yeah, he's in charge defensively, isn't he? So yeah, 7.5. Yeah.
Okay. Well then, on the left side, I thought it was a good decision to play this guy because he knows what it takes to win in Europe. Robbo got the start. He looked, I think, early. He looked good. He looked good early. Took a little bit of a hit, but recovered. I gave Robbo a 7. I gave Robbo a 7. What would you give him, Robbo?
7.
7. Okay. Yeah. Norm gave Robbo a 7. You're right, Lewis gave Verge. Being calm adds strength across the back line. It always does. And I think he looked calm. He looked reserved. It wasn't him yelling at people or throwing his hands up in the air. It was him being, direct and holding people responsible and accountable. I thought it was good. So Robbo gets a 6 from Lee Wizkid and a 7 from Norm. And you gave him a 7 too, right?
Yeah, Robbo 7. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I gave him a 7 as well.
Nice and steady.
All right. For this next guy, I am going to say I'm gonna give Gravy. I'm gonna give him an 8. I think this was one of Ryan's best games lately. He looked quick. He looked like assertive. He looked like how like so often in the Prem we've seen a lot of those, him getting the ball and being able to turn on the ball and go forward, but it's not really hasn't been working out that way in the Prem a little bit. They've been collapsing on him. They've been rough and tough and holding him and hitting him hard. And he had a little bit more space to turn and do his quick spin and take off and dribble with the ball today, or try to find other people with this passing. I thought Gravy looked good. I'll give him an 8. What are you going to give Gravy?
I gave him 7.5, like Virgil.
Okay. I thought Gravy looked
the biggest
extraordinary.
mark so far for me, 7.5 for Virgil.
I know. I see that. Yeah. Grav, Liska says Grav looks sharper than recently. He gave him a 7. Norm gave him a 7. Less nervy sideways from Ryan. Yeah. Hyler says 7.5 for Grav. Can't go as high as an 8. He wasn't that dominant. Okay. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe giving someone a little bit of an extra point, maybe only because they got a clean sheet and he was a part of that defensive. He made a really good stop, by the way. There was one where they could have scored and he was quick with his feet and was able to snuff out that cross. I think it wasn't a cross, the pass, I should say. Art's at saying we need Grav to sit in the 6 as much as possible. I think he means he was his man of the match. Wow. Okay. All right. Our new number 8. Because I'm not going to say we know who our number 8 is always, but our new number 8 worked like a monster today. There was a stat that was given in today's game where I was just like, okay. I like the fact that he's hustling and that he's a beast, but it does give a little bit of pause to me thinking what and how much we rely on Domas Szoboszlai. There was a shout that Domas Szoboszlai has played every game 90 minutes. In Europe, he's played every game for 90 minutes. And also, I don't think he's coming off the pitch because there was that stat that I said earlier the trivia question, which was like, what two players have played every minute, and it was I believe it was Dom and Gravy. Let me double check and see who it was. It was it was, yeah. Which duo has played every Champions League minute this season? Dominic Szoboszlai and our captain. He might be our next captain, but our current captain as well. All right. All right. I'm letting people slide with that because I know I did that. Even I said the same kind of statements when Henderson was coming to the end of his reign as our captain, and I was campaigning for Virgil to replace him. But Dom gets a 7 from Norm. Okay. What's your rating for Dom?
I'm going to give him an 8.
Okay. All right. All right. 8.2 is what Heiler's going with, and 7 was what Norm went with. I thought the ice cold penalty, I mean, that was he just did the whole air punch thing, but he probably should have went like this because he was ice cold today. Lee Wizkid gave a 7. Another stat, Sobo has scored penalty. Yes, he did score the penalty. He definitely did. I gave him an 8 today. I gave Dom an 8. All right. Maka, calm, tidy, important in being a link man today too, by the way. I know you probably want to give him a 6, but I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to give Maka a 7 today. What would you have given Maka on today?
Yeah, I'll give him a 7 as well.
Okay, all right. I thought I was being a little bit too nice to Maka. Lee Wizkid says 6, a bit slow still. Oh, that's your stat. I got you, Art. Szoboszlai has not missed a penalty so far. Okay.
What in his career?
He has missed, but I know what he's saying now. I think he missed the penalty in that I think he missed the penalty in the I'll have to double check before I say that. I'll double check. So I thought it was the Community Shield that he missed. But Mac is 5 for 5 or 5.5. Wow, 5.5. Wow, you guys are going downhill for Macca. 6 and a 5.5. What you giving Macca?
Me?
Yeah, I think he missed in the Dominic Szoboszlai missed in a shootout, surprisingly. He did. And I think it was the Charity Shield, Community Shield. But go ahead. What are you giving Macca?
7. I give him 7 for
Okay.
McAllister. Yeah, I thought he was decent. He was okay. Decent part of the midfield, which helped us get the win. The way we were in midfield, and thought he was okay. He looked more like himself in moments, and hopefully that's the start of him returning to his best form as the team returns to some sort of form. Because we need him big time.
My bad. Dominic Szoboszlai did. If that was a shootout, then it wasn't that shootout. Dominic Szoboszlai made his goal in that shootout. It was Macca, Salah, Macca, and Elliott all missed their shots in that Community Shield. All right. Possibly one of the candidates for player of the game, Curtis Jones. He looked confident. He looked I said it before we started the game. I said, this is a big chance for Curtis Jones. Curtis Jones has missed out on these opportunities simply because of injuries or just untimely knocks. before, but this was his chance. This is a real big opportunity for him to make a significant, claim to be a regular starter for this team. I know there are some of those people out there that don't really rate Curtis Jones. Some are really, really too harsh, and I think some are really just agenda-driven silliness. I know Cal's friend, Montz's guy, KG or something, I think his name or something like that. The KG, I think he's a comedian or something like that. I think sometimes he should probably stick to comedy and rather than try to give his hand in analyzing football. But all the same, because his analyzation of Curtis Jones, I think, is a joke. But Curtis Jones, confident, progressive, enjoyed the role today. I gave Curtis Jones an 8. Lee Wiskid gave him an 8, especially for that first half. I keep saying retro. Norm gave him a 7.5. What you've given Curtis Jones, Lee?
7.5.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, along with Virgil.
Seeing a little bit of a trend.
Virgil and Brian got 7.5 each. Gambit, Somersley got 8. So I'll give Curtis 7.5.
Okay. Yeah. Isak is Hyler gave him a 7.5 too, by the way. Isak, all right, so to our front duo, it was Isak and Ekitike up top. I'll just rate both of them at the same time. I gave Isak, I thought Isak had a mixed night, some sloppy moments, but some sparks here and there. But primarily, it was this. I thought Ekitike was energetic early. You could kind of see that he kind of slowed down towards the end of the game. He didn't have that same spark that he had in the beginning of the game, but that's understandable. I mean, it is an intense game. He's playing the full 90. I would have given both Isak and Ekitike 6s. What is your score for Isak?
Isak will give 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. Norm gave Isak a 5. Lee Wiskid a 5. Yeah. I'm still looking for that. I'm still looking for what we saw Isak show at Newcastle to be shown at Liverpool. We haven't seen that just yet. Ekitike gets a 6, okay, from Norm. What are you giving Ekitike, by the way? He was energetic, like I said, but got quieter later on in the game. What are you giving? What are you giving him?
I'll give Ekitike a 7. So it'll have to be a 6 for Isak and a 7 for Ekitike is for the two. 6 for Isak, 7 for Ekitike.
Okay.
He was the brighter of the two, wasn't he? The two forwards.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he hasn't. I was seeing if he has. Art thinks that Isak was very poor, by the way. He says that Isak gets a 3 for him. Okay. Hyler asked, what's wrong with Isak exactly? That excuse that he didn't have any preseason can't be used anymore. We're in December, so he has to have had long enough. He has to have had enough training by now. Lee Wiskid says Ekitike is 7 because he's the only new player that didn't. I don't know what that. I'm not going to say the rest of that one. Wasn't in need. Art, like I said Isak is a 3, and he thinks that Ekitike got a 4. Okay. I thought Ekitike was good in the first half. I thought he was good in the first half, but okay. I think that this player, once introduced into the game, changed the tempo dramatically, gave us a bit of a spark that we needed, because I could see that our team was kind of getting into this lull moment where, like, as in the players, like I said earlier, I think he was sharp, energetic in the beginning. Then he started to slow down. Isak never really got much to running, but or off to the greatest of starts. But he looked like he was like his tank was empty towards the end, or towards the middle of that second half. And then our midfield, especially, there was players that were just running around the pitch all over the spots, looking very alive. But they started to wane a little bit for a little bit. There was a little bit of time when Inter could wedge their way back into this game, and I thought when Verts came in, he changed the tempo instantly. He was creative, he was impactful, and he made a difference, obviously, enough so that he got us the goal, got us the pen in the box. I do think it was a pen, by the way. I also thought that the Bradley substitution was good, in that I thought it was good because Bradley, the energy didn't go down. Bradley got into the game quick. He was assertive. He could be electric at times. He should have scored, by the way. He had a great shot on goal, opportunity to score a goal, and he almost did. But I like maybe some of you out there in the chat was asking, well, why are we taking off Gomez? I think Gomez has been solid this game. He's definitely a good defensive player to have back. We need to see this 1-0 win out. And by taking off Gomez for Bradley, Bradley proved me, I won't say wrong, but proved his worth today by performing well. So I gave Verts an 8, and I gave Bradley a 7. What would you give the two subs that we had in this game?
How long did they have? 35 minutes with injury time?
They were subbed on in the they were subbed on in the 68th minute.
Okay, so they had 35 minutes with injury time, which is best part of the half. Yeah, I'll give Verts 8 because he got us the win. Because Bastoni was scared of him, mate, because he knows what a good player Verts is. That was the long and short of the tug on his shirt. He knows what Verts can do, mate, and he was worried. And I thought Bradley was good. Bradley was really bright when he came on, did everything well. And I like that one where he got it down, got the ball in for Ekatike to get a shot off, blocked by the defender. So I'll give Connor a 7 for his sub appearance. Usually I give low marks subs, but these are best part of the half, and because it was all very good and it was part of our win, you can both have good marks.
I would have given Wirtz a 7, but I gave him an 8 because he was the reason why we got the penalty. He was very he did make an impact on the game immediately. So excuse me. So I thought that was I think that was well worth it. Do you again, do you think that we should do you think this is the new formation that we go forward with, or is this just temporary? Tell me in the chat too, by the way. I know Art believes what I believe, which is a 4-4-2 diamond is the formation to go with. If it's not 4-4-2 diamond, at least a 4-2-2-2, possibly. Something to that extent. Big up. Got the streets. The streets have arrived, people. The streets have arrived. Much love for sure. Are we seeing the future of this team? 4-4-2.
Maybe.
Okay, all right. That was a lot of suspense for
Well,
that
it's
was
not a
a
yes
lot of
or no
suspense
question.
for maybe.
It's not really a yes or no question because we're not going to play that all the time. But I'd like to think that we're going to play that some of the time and that it will pay off in the way it did tonight. And don't forget, we'll have other players available to try it with as well on different nights. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'll be happy to see it again. Like I really loved the game away to City last season when we won 2-0, playing four midfielders. That was a cracking. That was my favourite game of last season. Not because because it was dead exciting. It was just like they hardly touched us. We didn't let them make a good chance, and we haven't won at the Etihad in 10 bloody years. And we did it in majestic style with a really controlled, we got 2-0 up, and then we just kept them at arm's length. It was just like we had our hand on their heads. And go on. And that was me and that was with the four midfielders. It was a bit different than this today, but it was the same principle, like four midfielders, two forwards. And I hope going forward we can utilise it more and get the same results more. I'm not sure about it at home in home games, but well, you can just substitute Vert for one of the others, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like Norm is saying 4-3-1-2 with Verts behind the two strikers. Crab thinks that we'll play this until Cody is back. Then we'll revert possibly back to the 4-2-3-1. The slot could well do something different next time out, Lee Wizkid says. I think the reason why I'm saying I would like to see us stick with this is because the one thing that was lacking in this is just rhythm. Once you start to get the rhythm and this team starts to figure out, oh, this is how we're going to play. This is what to expect. This is where we can expect our teammates to be, or what the spacing is going to be and the likes. You will see a better connectivity between the offensive play. I thought we held the ball well today. We didn't sit on the ball. There weren't that many times we had, cleats on top of the ball. It was more like pass, pass, touch, pass type flowing movement. We are going to rate slot. We are going to give Arnie a rating. Isak looks. Yeah, we definitely overpaid for Isak, by the way, for right now, for what he's offered us back. We've overpaid. Maybe we'll see some of that come back once he's fully fit and fully informed. But yeah, he's not looking like a 125 million pound striker at the moment. What's your rating for Arnie Slot?
I'll give Arnie a 8 for tonight.
An 8. Arnie Slot gets an 8. Okay.
New formation in a tough venue against a stiff opponent. Clean sheet win. Didn't concede any major chances to them. Had a goal ruled out. Yeah, it came off well for Arnie, and I'm pleased for him. Gives him a little bit more time, a little bit of breathing space, and hopefully we can go on to make it 2 in a row now, and this will be a turning point.
Oh, excuse me. 9 for Norm. I see your question, Crab. I'll bring that up in a second. High Lord thinks that Eke Tiki wasn't thriving on that leftish side. Thinks it's a call for Chiesa or Rio in that position. I disagree on that one, but
formation we played, the two strikers were never going to get loads of the ball. Do you know what I mean? And the way we played, but I thought they did enough, both of them, to keep the defence occupied. Hugo was a little bit sharper in his touches and that, but we didn't need Did you know what I'm saying? Anyway, like it worked. I thought, like, you know, they did reasonable, the two of them, in the formation that we played, doing their own little part, like, yeah.
Agreed. Art, you need to definitely tune in more often. A lot of your ideas or beliefs are in line with those of the channel here. We've been definitely pressing and pushing for some of those ideas to be a part of the makeup, our team's makeup, and what you're suggesting. Yeah, you know, you got to give them credit when, you know, you give a person credit when they step up and do what they need to do. You're gonna be critical of them when they fail, then be obviously supportive when they perform. Let's see. The question from Crab was, when are we going to start thinking Isak might be a flop? I don't really have a deadline on Isak just yet. At least I don't have one in my mind as to when I would be like, oh, he's not doing what we expect him to do. I think I'll say this. How about this? If this team gels, quote unquote, you know how we've all been saying this team needs to gel, right, Lee?
Mm-hmm.
If this team gels and Isak is still performing poorly, then maybe we can bring that conversation into the realm. And he's had an equal opportunity to gel with this team. Then we can maybe bring out that idea as to if he's a flop or not. I'm not really ready to deem him as being a flop just yet because this is the first time we've seen this form, or not the first time, but it's one of the this is one of the first times we've seen this midfield and this team play as a team and play very well as a team. And if it means that it's connected to a formation change that they're going to have to adjust and adapt to, then we're going to have to do that, allow for those forwards and those strikers to adjust and adapt as well. Big game coming up this Saturday. Kind of a bunch of Saturday games. I wonder why we keep getting these Saturday games and not these Sunday games, you know? I guess maybe because we're playing on Tuesday and not Wednesday, I guess, is why we get the Saturday game instead of the Sunday. But Saturday, Liverpool versus Brighton. 3 o'clock game, 3 o'clock kickoff, UK time. Pressure remains on Slot. Let's not kid ourselves. This pressure remains on Slot. There was that rumor that he's got a Christmas deadline, so he might be unwrapping a pink slip, maybe under his Christmas tree. Maybe not. Is that what you guys call them? Do you guys call them pink slips? No.
What, like waves?
Usually when you get like I think that's what you call it when you get laid off or you get laid off.
Oh yeah, pink slips lays off on it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Salah chaos has not been resolved, but tonight we have an opportunity to breathe. Again, I can already tell you what you're going to hear on every other channel. Every other channel that's because a lot of these channels are not built like this one. You're going to have a lot of people out there complaining about the fact that we got this penalty call and that we got this pen. You're going to have tons of people complaining, saying it was soft, we didn't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. Let them complain. Let them talk. Who cares? All that matters is we got that W, right? We got that W. Norm says he will judge next season. Art says we are not playing to Isak's strengths. He needs to be fed the ball, fed with passes into the box. Slot said when we signed him, we have bought Isak for the next 6 years, not just for now. That's a great quote, by the way. Also, he said it will be a long time before Isak plays 90 minutes. That's an unfortunate quote, but I would like to see that happen sooner than later. Lee Whisker says he has to show a decent performance at Anfield. The fans deserve it. Lee Whisker says, good, let them complain, meaning my earlier comment. Norm says he doesn't watch them. Fans taking a year off. What a joke. Yeah, I got you on that. I know some people are weird with their support. It's kind of weird to see the way that some people react. But what about for you, Lee? What any real final thoughts or anything that's on your mind that you want to talk about before we let the people do their thing, since we're at the midnight hour?
My final thought in the style of Jerry Springer is take care out there. Look after yourself and each other.
There you go.
My final thoughts on the match is that it was a tonic. It was good to see a controlled, composed, compact performance. 3 C's there. And we just, it wasn't that we looked overly dangerous tonight, but we didn't look in danger. That's what I enjoyed. I was quite relaxed watching the game. At no point was it panicking or thinking it was about to go awry. I thought we had the measure of them tonight, and fully deserved the victory.
Shout out to Drifty from Coppish, by the way. Drifty's one of my friends, at least someone that I refer to as a friend and as a brethren, as a Reds brethren as well. Reds brethren who happens to more times than not see things in the same, I guess, red tinted glasses as some people put out that I have for myself. But on their broadcast yesterday, everyone, for the most part, had us losing. Everyone had us losing, for the most part, in their broadcast. And at one point, when you're hearing all the gripes, and you heard that Mo Salah wasn't going to be making the trip, and all this different stuff, and blah blah blah. Drifty's like, we're going to win tomorrow. And I remember distinctly, because I was like one of the few people in the chat that said, I'm with you on that. I believe because we had our backs against the wall, because this was one of those, like, everyone's overlooked the team. We have returned, and this is something that has been unusually different for us, considering the talent we have on this team. You can make the argument that we were the underdogs going into this game. We were certifiably the underdogs going to San Siro tonight. And we all know how this Liverpool team thrives in being the underdog. It's a difficult place for us to be, because quite often we are now seen as that team with £100 million talent here and £100 million talent there. Like, we've got all this incredible talent on our team, to the point where we're the defending champions of the Prem too. Keep in mind, we can't really take on that underdog status. But we've been beaten down, and we've been bloodied, and we are looking a little bit like Rocky and Rocky. I'd say Rocky 2, not 3. Let's go that way. We look like we're going up against Clubber Lang. I don't want to say we're going up against Drago, but or actually that was 3. That was 3. 4 was Drago, I think, right? Anyhow.
Yeah, 4
this
was
wasn't
Drago.
Yeah.
3 was Mr. T, wasn't it?
Yeah. This wasn't pretty. This wasn't a poetic win. This wasn't the Liverpool we fell in love with under maybe the Klopp years of our watching enjoyment, but it was the Liverpool that we love to see, and that is the Liverpool that fights. Arne Slot is not out of the woods. He is not out of the woods. But we're not through with the Salah saga. The season isn't saved yet. But tonight, in Europe, we remembered what resilience looks like. San Siro, one chance, one moment. Oh, man. You could almost say that it was one Spartan-esque performance.
This is Sparta!
Would you funny shouted that at the end? This is Sparta, Rotterdam. Sparta,
there you go.
Rotterdam.
There you go. Like that, right?
But he looked really pleased at the end, didn't he, Virgil? I liked it that the camera lingered after the final whistle on him, clapping the fans like and that, and enjoying himself. He looked happier than I've seen him in weeks at the final whistle, Virgil, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, it's a win that keeps our European dreams alive. It's a win that gives us a little bit more of a place to hang our hat, saying that let's try to put a real effort in winning this tournament, getting hot and getting selective at the right time, which is going to be. I just saw what Norm said. You're funny, Norm. But I'm not doing that at all. But let's do what a lot of us need to do, and that is not dwell on the past. Let's move forward, and that's where we're at. Let's move forward. Move forward with this win. Move forward with 3 points. Let's see also where that takes us, by the way. With this win, and I repeat, with this win, Lee might love to hear this. With this win, Liverpool are in 8th place in Champions League.
That's more like it.
Now, keep in mind, there are teams like Dortmund still needs to play. City needs to play. Newcastle needs to play. And that's it. So 3 teams have an opportunity to knock us down a peg. Only Dortmund and City have the ability to outperform us on points. Because they can move up to 13 points with a win each in their respective games. And then also Newcastle has 9 points, but with a win, they'd have 12 as well. But they would also be higher on the goal differential because they have a +7 goal differential in the league. So that's the difference maker in that. But everyone else is we're sitting pretty in the 8th spot, and it's making a difference. It's a real difference. Real Madrid, I believe Real Madrid plays Manchester City next. Yeah. Because that game is supposedly linked to, that's in a very big game. It's at Real Madrid too, I believe. Let me double check and make sure. It is, let me double check. No, it's at the Etihad. I apologize. It's at the Etihad. So that's a very big game. It's being reported that that game could determine whether Alonso has a job or not. Um, it'd be very interesting to see what happens in that game. Maybe it'd be interesting to see what we as a Liverpool club do if Alonso is available. Be interesting to see if we do pick up some form and we stick with Arnie going forward. But for right now, the best thing I can say is that we move, because we got it done today, and that's all that matters, right? Pretty much, right?
Very much so, yeah. That's exactly what matters, getting the job done.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but I mean, like, so if you do hear someone, a rival or a neutral or someone complaining, and they ask, well, do you want to hear what they have to think? You just say to them,
It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you think.
it's all about Liverpool today, people. They're just happy to have a W. That's how I see it. Oh wow! All right. Enough of the sound bits. Hopefully, you guys heard that one. Could you hear the rock?
Mm-hmm.
All right, just making sure. You don't seem too. It doesn't seem like you smell what the rock is cooking. That's why I was just making sure. All right, people, we're gonna be out. We'll have an episode tomorrow. It'll be certainly related to the games that are on tomorrow for Champions League. We'll also obviously deal with some of the aftermath of what the playing field or the spectrum of what is going on with Liverpool is starting to round out in shape. We'll obviously hear a little bit more. I'll probably get some of the post-press interview responses from our coach, Arnie Slot. But until then, take care of yourselves. And also, okay, I did see that by Norm. I think that's what you're laughing at. Do you want to say anything before we bounce? Do you say your peace out or whatever? Lee, do you want to say?
Yeah, just cheers, everyone. Thanks for being here. And it's good that we've got a good result to celebrate. And that was all we could do, was win the game tonight. So let's just hope there's more of it in the near future.
Yeah, exactly. Look, appreciate the love. Love for the love, as you guys sometimes hear. But look, you know what? This show is only great when it has people like yourself definitely contributing to it. So look, we appreciate that. We're trying to hold it down here, make a different kind of environment, and for Reds and for neutrals and rivals, they can certainly come to this Red House. But for right now, it is up the Reds each and every time. I'll say you'll never walk alone to all my brothers and sisters out there. Until next time, definitely peace.